Hi guys, welcome back to the Cisbic podcast, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about all things social media. The good, the bad, boundaries with social media, and how you can kind of switch your brain to rethink the relationship that you have with social media. So, I hope you guys have all had an amazing past week. I apologize that this episode didn't go up last week. I was dealing with some personal things and I just wanted to focus on that and not give you a crappy episode and rather wait till my mental space was there to give you the best episode I could. So, but normally I will be posting weekly or bi-weekly. I kind of haven't decided, but I want to post weekly. So stay tuned for socials. I'll announce it officially, which one I decide. One thing that triggered this podcast was the girl dinner trend on TikTok. And I'm sure you guys have seen this literally everywhere. But pretty much, it's like girls romanticizing not eating something or like not eating very much. And I don't know if I'm like taking it this wrong way, but to me, I think it's actually so unhealthy that people are posting this. And this is the reason why girls have eating disorders. And not only girls, but it's just the audience is definitely more aimed towards girls because it's called girl dinner. And it'll be like someone eating like a salad with like a mini salad with like some fries. And like, yes, like you can totally eat that. Go for it. But it's also, people are also posting like their 3 grapes with a like spoon of peanut butter. That's not dinner and that's not healthy and you should not be eating like that. So I think I kind of was seeing these trends and I was like, wow, social media really can impact people's lives literally for such a bad, like in so many bad ways, but there's also so many good things, and that's why I wanted to talk about all this. But I was kind of thinking like, wow, girls are going to see these like influencers post how they eat like nothing. And they're like, girl dinner, like they're romanticizing this. And then they're going to start doing that. And then they're going to develop an eating disorder because they don't know if they're being for real or if they're joking. Like they don't know. They don't know if you're sitting there. And influencers, you can say all you want. Like, oh my gosh, it was just a joke. I was just following the trend. Well, these little girls that are watching your videos, they don't know that. And I'm not trying to down on all these people that are doing this. I'm just trying to make a point on why it's perceived. And you just gotta think, I guess, more of how things can be perceived. Because no matter what you post, even that has the best intention, just like my podcast right now, it can totally look like I'm just downing on all influencers and all social media, and I'm just this hypocrite because that's what I do on social media. People can take it any way you want. But the thing is that's not what I'm trying to do. And the thing is trends are meant to be trending and go into every audience. And so therefore, all these girls are sitting there thinking that that's what people are eating. And that's just not really the best thing to romanticize and share. And that's just my personal opinion. But the way I took it was just how social media can affect someone's life. And then I was sitting there deeply thinking about all of this like I normally do. And I'm sitting there in my bed and I'm like, who would I be without social media? Seriously. Like I sit there and I ponder, who would I be without social media? I can't even answer that question. And it's because the influence of social media comes into your life at such a vulnerable age. We have no sense of self-identity at all. We don't know what we are. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we want to do. Because guess what? We're being influenced by everything we see on our phones. So then I sat there and I was like, what if social media just disappeared? What would I do? Like, what would I think? of, and what would I be influenced by? Because I'm sitting here influenced by my fashion trends, okay? I see someone from Europe, for instance, doing something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's fire. I want to do that. Well, I'm being influenced by social media. And that's not a bad thing. Like I'm trying to say, there's bad things and there's good things. It's just the way you perceive it and the boundaries that you have from it. Social media gives you the sense that you need validation and you're sitting there, you're posting it to make your life look good. You're not going to post you sitting in your room at 3 a.m. crying. Because even if you did to post the real you, everyone's going to think that you're posting that just to get attention. And that's the truth. Social media is never going to be perceived, ever, always good. It's never going to. It's never going to. Someone's always going to sit there and say something back, reversing everything you just said. I posted on my Instagram, both my personal and my podcast Instagram, which if you are not following, go follow them. My main is Lexi James with 2 L's, so it's LLEXI James. Or follow my Cispic podcast. It's just Cispic podcast. Anyways, that was my little self-promo, but you should totally follow for updates and little snippets of everything with podcasts behind the scenes, all that fun stuff. But I posted on my socials and I asked, who would you be without social media? One person answered. Because no one knows the answer. But the thing is you have to remember that social media is designed to be addictive. That is the whole point. The whole point. And it's made for you to keep watching. And with me and my job literally being social media, I do all these things to hack your brain into thinking that you need to keep watching, or you need to watch the next video, or you need to follow this. That's the point of social media. So, I mean, I'm just doing my job. But the thing is, realistically, no matter what, for yourself, you still need to have those boundaries, and you still need to know when to take information and when to just turn off your phone. And what you're going to do with the information that you're reading. The one thing I thought of was, would you rather be at school for 8 hours and learn all the information, or would you rather sit there for 8 hours and dwell on the fact that you don't want to be there? Which one's benefiting you? Obviously learning, but are you going to do that? Not all the time. That's the exact same thing with social media. You can either choose to take the information that you see on social media and make it benefit you, be following motivational accounts, follow people in your career path and that are giving you advice on how to get past those early stages in a career and things that they would have done before starting their business, or, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs for sure are always giving advice on how to be better than they were, how to start better than they were. And I think that's a beautiful thing on social media, and that's the whole reason why I personally go on social media if it's not for work. It's to motivate me. But the thing is you can also sit on social media. You can also follow the exact same accounts, and you can sit there and be like, yep, they just have a perfect life. I just don't have that life. I just don't have the things that they have. I don't have a nice house, so I can't do that. You know, there's just 1,000,005 excuses that you can give to yourself. You can sit there and make yourself so upset and, oh, poor me. But the thing is, like I said, what is that doing for you? Nothing. But you're sitting on your phone, wasting your time still reading everything, being nosy in everyone else's life, being jealous of everyone else's life, then instead of just going and doing it, you're literally wasting your time. And you're just benefiting all these other people's lives instead of benefiting yours. Because you're sitting there engaging with their post by sitting there forever, looking at it, watching it again, clicking on their profile, stalking them. Okay, well, you're just benefiting them. So unless you're stalking their account to get all of their information and tips to then take that information and implement it into your life, you're wasting your time. You're just helping them. That's what I'm trying to say is these are things that you just need to think about when you're looking at social media. And I'm not trying to say I'm perfect. I stalk accounts, okay? I've done it. I've been there before. I've sat there and looked at people's lives and been like, they're just perfect. I could never. They just have a nice house. They only get to do that because they got rich parents. I've thought and looked at all these things before. Okay? That's life. But the thing is I don't do that anymore because I realized it. So once you realize something, you got to put action and start to change your habits. And so instead of looking at people's lives and being like, oh my gosh, I just wish I could live their life, you got to think, how could I make small steps to get to where they are? That's all you have to do. It's such a small little mind switch, but it's more difficult than you think. If you're going to have a healthier relationship with social media, you have to stop thinking of it as a mindless activity and instead change it into a meaningful one. Like I said, you're just not going to get anywhere if you sit there and you just scroll and you just keep scrolling and you keep scrolling and you keep scrolling and you're watching all these people get up at 6 a.m., go to the gym and plan their day, and you're just going to scroll past it and keep laying down. Like, you got to think of it as, oh my gosh, that's motivation. I should go do that. Whenever I see something like that, I am instantly motivated. And not everyone's like that, but the thing is you got to change your mind to be like that because I don't really know. You just have to set boundaries. For instance, at night, for one, I don't really watch TV. I don't even have a TV. I have a projector, but I haven't even set it up in my new house. I pretty much just watch YouTube videos. And I do that because TV is not really benefiting my life. And I think the reason why I really don't have an issue with watching TV is because I've never really watched TV. Like, even as a kid, we didn't have cable for like most of my life. Then obviously we got like Netflix and stuff when all of that came about, but no matter what, I still was never a TV person. I was always a YouTube person, and I was YouTubing something that was benefiting my life. I just have a hard time sitting there and watching TV because to me, I'm like, what is this doing for me? Like, yes, relaxing. But to me, like, that's not relaxing. I just feel like I'm wasting my time. I'd rather relax and watch someone doing something super cool that I could possibly learn from, or at least learn how their experience was. I personally watch a lot of vlogs of entrepreneurs. I watch day in the lives of models. I like to watch things that are actually benefiting me. I've been going through everything in my life and kind of just picking and choosing what things are benefiting me and what things aren't, and getting in a routine, which that is going to be my next episode, is about routine. You also need to go through your following. I need to do this again. I've done this a couple months ago, but I'm already following a million pointless accounts because I always do. I don't know how I always do, but I end up doing it. If you're only following someone to know what they're doing in their life because you want to be nosy and you want to talk crap about it, unfollow them. That is so pointless. Like I said at the beginning, you're benefiting them. You're not benefiting yourself. So why would you want to do that? If you are only following them just to stalk their lives and judge them and talk to your friends about what they just did the other day, You're wasting your time, and the only thing you're doing is benefiting their social media. You need to also ask yourself, what accounts are bringing benefits to me? What accounts are bringing me joy? Which ones are helping me learn? Which ones are challenging my brain to think differently or just value your life? Which ones are doing that and which ones are doing the complete opposite? Unfollow all the accounts that are doing the opposite. If they're not benefiting you, unfollow them. I think also just not going on social media all the time is also a huge thing. Just taking a social media detox. You don't have to go on social media all the time. The issue with me is that I can't really take a detox because that's like my job. I literally have to be on social media, whether it's my personal account or one of my clients' accounts. No matter what, I have to be on social media. So there's a little disconnect there. But I don't even feel that I need a social media detox because I have these boundaries. And that's why I'm saying that these boundaries are so important. Because you won't even feel like you need a detox. You won't need a break. Social media won't feel like this terrible thing. Then you're always talking like, oh my gosh, it's so terrible. It's really not. It's just the way you perceive it and the way you take things from it. Like I said. So, one thing is I came up with a list of things you can do instead of social media if you do need that break and if you do see yourself using social media as a toxic outlet. If you don't think that you can just cut these things out of your life, which it's obviously way easier said than done, then you should try to implement these things into your life, and social media also won't be on your top priority all of the time. So, if you are using social media to relax, you can always take a walk, put on some music, read a book, try a new hobby, okay? Try drawing, try painting, try making your own clothes. I don't know, learn something. If you're using social media to connect with others, go call your friend, okay? Don't just be like, oh my gosh, I miss them. I wonder how they're doing. Let me go look at their Instagram and then let me DM them. Oh my gosh, I miss you. Okay, no. Why don't you call them, have a real conversation, and keep and maintain that relationship that you have? Because a social media relationship is not a real relationship. Now, I'm not saying that they can't form into a relationship. I mean, I wouldn't even have my best friends without social media. I literally met my best friends on Instagram. You can invite your friends all over to hang out. Instead of texting in the group chat, go have a barbecue with your friends. Go have a game night with your friends. Game nights are one of my favorite things to do with my friends. And it's definitely hard to get everyone together all the time. But it's a lot better than sitting there in the group chat just asking how everyone's day was. Like, try to go do something. Like, and I guess that's not really necessarily social media, but if you use social media for entertainment now, go look up local concerts that are happening in your city. No matter if that is some small artist that you've never heard of, for one, go, because you never know if you're going to love it or if you're going to hate it. Either way, you're supporting someone that is working on their dream. And wouldn't you hope that someone would go do that for you? Think about that, okay? Go to, like, bowling alley, go to an arcade, go to something where you're gonna be entertained while you're there. Go to a movie. Movies are great. There's, like, classes where you can, like, paint. Like, you go, like, do pottery and then you paint it. That's super fun. It's interactive. Someone's teaching you how to do it. You do it with other people. It's great. Those are some things to do instead of scrolling mindlessly on social media. Deleting any negative DMs that are in your account, that are in your comments, that are in your messages. When I was doing social media and had a YouTube channel when I was in middle school, I was getting a lot of hate messages and a lot of hate comments. I don't get that as much anymore of the comments, but if I do, which I still do, I will delete them. I'm not going to let them sit on my page and just sit there. Now, if some reason, like a video went viral and there was a ton of hate comments, now would I keep doing that? No. I'm not going to waste my time going through and deleting everything. But if it's just like one, I'm going to delete it. I don't want to sit there and go back at it and look at it and be upset on why someone's commenting that. It's just, that's literally pointless. Instagram's a highlight reel, just like everyone always says. Like, they're just going to show the real parts of their life. Things that you can do that may help these things are skipping the filters on Instagram to think that you only look pretty with a filter. Okay? Girl or guy, you look amazing without the filter, okay? So take it off. Like, you don't got... Okay. This is my thing. I personally totally use filters, especially on stories, like Instagram stories. They have so many fun filters. On TikTok, they got so many fun filters. But I don't think that I look ugly without it. I think that this just is like fun, If you don't think that you can't post a video without a filter on it, then that's the issue. But if you can post a video with a filter or without a filter, go do it. Use a filter, girl. I don't care. Remind other people also that your social media is not the real you. I literally had this conversation with someone a couple weeks ago at Fashion Week. Someone came up to me and they were like, girl, you've been living your best life. Like, you've been living the life you've always talked about it. You're traveling all the time. You're modeling all the time. Like, if someone were to look at my Instagram, they probably think I literally just model my whole life and all I could do is travel and eat good food and take cute Instagram pictures. But that's not the case at all. No one knows I actually also work 4 jobs and literally if I'm not working, I'm working on what I'm trying to do for work in my future. No one sees those things. But how would you know that? I don't really post it on my social media. And that's why you can't take someone's social media and think that they're living such a better life than you. Okay? You can't think that. Like, it's just not going to happen. So you got to remind people that. Because I didn't sit there and was like, oh my God, thank you. Like, yes, it's been amazing. Like, I will take the compliment and be like, yeah, I appreciate that so much. But that's definitely not all I've been doing. I just don't post the other stuff. Like, I was doing this and I've been working at this. And they're like, oh, really? Like, I didn't see you post that. Because I didn't. And that's why it's important to have real life conversations. Another thing with social media is encouraging and commenting on other people's posts. I think this is one of the best things to do because I personally comment on a lot of people's posts when I am on social media. Like I said, I don't go on social media as much as to just see what other people are doing in their lives, just because I have that boundary with myself so that I don't get sucked into being jealous about other people's lives. But when I do, and I go and I sit and I scroll through Instagram and see how everyone's doing it, where's everyone at, I go through and I comment if I think if they look really pretty, I'm gonna say that they look really pretty. If it looks like they had a great trip, I'm gonna post that they had a really good trip. I'm gonna comment on that. Like, I'm sitting there trying to encourage people, and like, why wouldn't you say something? It's like, but also, if someone commented on your last 3 Instagram pictures and they didn't comment on your most recent Instagram picture, that does not mean that someone does not like you anymore, okay? And if someone unfollows you on Instagram, it also does not mean that someone just does not like you anymore. Some people might have accidentally unfollowed you. Someone might have not ever even seen your recent post. You got to think about those things. You can't always automatically be like, well, she unfollowed me, so I don't like her. And I can't believe she ever did that to me because I've been there for her whole life and now she just wants to unfollow me. Okay, that doesn't always necessarily mean that's what it is. Now, sometimes, yes, it completely means that. But guess what? Let it go. As much as it's easier said than done, just try to think about it like that. And I've had to learn how to do that at such an early age because of me being on social media at such a young age. Anyways, that is pretty much it for today's podcast. The next episode, I'm going to be talking about different things that will help you benefit your life and building a routine and everything like that. So definitely stay tuned because it definitely correlates with this week's episode. And also follow my Instagram, Sis Big Podcasts. I would love if you guys would follow me on there and also hit the download button on the podcast. It would really help me and I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, so if you go on my Instagram, you follow my Instagram, I will post updates and everything like that, as well as just random motivational posts and different things of that sort. Like I said, I'm your virtual big sis. With all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing week. And remember to go do that random act of kindness. It's linked to my bio. I love y'all, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Mwah.